a song starts playing, or he thinks of a song that he thinks he knows the lyrics to. He doesn't know the lyrics to it, but he'll sing it with full confidence. I love it.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Carpio Corner. My name's Chris.
And I'm Gloria.
And we're the Carpios. And you are joining us for our season finale.
Oh, yeah.
That is brought to you by our fans, which is likely you. And we're really thankful for that. So we asked you guys to ask us some questions, and you guys brought some serious questions to the table. Mm-hmm. Some fun, some serious, but regardless of what kind of questions they are, we're going to crank up the heat by eating increasingly hotter wings along the way.
Yeah, I'm nervous.
So if you want to hear us in pain, then just continue to listen to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening to it. But if you want to see us in pain, make sure you jump over to our YouTube channel and watch it there, because this is going to be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you stick around. All right, Glo, let's jump into it. What's the first question, and what are we doing? What's the first wing?
Our first wing, I thought we'd start off pretty good. You've been on like a Chipotle lately, so I got
it's
Chipotle.
Not lately. I've always loved Chipotle sauce.
It's really, you've been getting a lot of Chipotle lately.
Whenever it's available, I'm there for it.
So I got Chipotle barbecue.
A nice dry
wings.
rub.
Oh.
Also, here's a question, a controversial question off the bat for the listeners. Do you like bone in or bone out? And is a bone out wing, is that considered a chicken nugget? Or is that really still a boneless wing?
That's a great question.
That's a good question for you guys to answer.
So for our first question, we actually have a couple categories of questions.
I'm supposed to take a bite first, right, while you ask that question?
Yeah. Our first category of questions is Wingman, let's talk about dating. So,
this is good.
While you chew on that, Chris, I'm going to ask you a question. Again, we're jumping right in. Why does it feel like men do not want to fight for or pursue women anymore?
In my opinion, I don't think that it's men don't want to. I think that it's that men are really afraid to. And I think that there's too many avenues for us not to have to either pursue you or ask you out on a date. I think that we can just say, well, I'm just going to slide into her DMs and flirt with her for a while until we're basically dating, you know? Or, like, I think that I'm just going to hang out one time and then that's it, and I'm going to hope that they show me enough obvious signs for me to, like, go for it. But sometimes, you know, the other person's not always going to show you the obvious sign. Sometimes they're just going to want you to, like, ask them, and you just got to take that step. I think Noah said it really well, right? He said, like, it only takes 10 seconds of courage. So for all the guys out there that are really intimidated by asking out a girl, like, just go for it. Don't let that person who asked that question be proven right by allowing for yourself to be dictated by your fears, you know? It could totally be worth it. And the worst thing that they could say is no. But also, when they say no, just receive that. Just accept that.
It's true.
No is not like a maybe later. But also, girls, if a guy asks you out and you really mean no, say no.
Yeah.
Don't say, like, oh, maybe in the future. Just say no, because guys hold on to the littlest thing.
Yeah. Don't worry about, you know, saying no isn't mean. It isn't mean to say no when you're not going to be leading someone on, because leading someone on can lead to more hurt than you just saying, like, no, but, you know, thank you for asking.
I haven't eaten all day, so I'm, like, really ready for these wings. Down. All right, Gloria, for my question.
Okay, I gotta take a bite.
Are you ready?
Is this spicy?
No, it's not really spicy. It has a little bit of a kick to it, but... How do you know if a guy is godly enough to go on dates with versus godly enough to marry, and what this is a long question.
I know.
And what qualifications should I set to even date them to begin with? Is there ever a time, biblically, where you think a woman should pursue a man?
I believe that going on dates with Christians isn't bad if you, right off the bat, don't know if you want to marry them, because you're not going to know unless you get to know the person. And getting to know the person can happen through dates, which doesn't mean you're immediately dating them. I personally haven't really had much experience with like going on dates and it not leading to something. In my life, it like usually has been just dating off the bat. But if, you know, a guy asks you on a date and you don't know everything about them, I don't think it's a bad thing to say, okay, I would like to get to know you, you know, before this moves further along and becomes like a commitment. And then through that, you'll know if they're...
Like, you can go on a date without being a boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah. And without being like, I'll go on a date because I know I'm going to marry them.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to know if this man is who, you know, someone that you can have a godly relationship with if you go, you know, after getting to know them.
Sure.
Which can happen through going on dates. And also that'll, you know, show you if, you know, they're not going to be someone that's going to be a good match in a marriage. I kind of also was thinking about, you know, in the question it asks, says godly enough. And I think that's an interesting phrase to know if someone's godly enough. Like, I feel like that's kind of a hard thing to know. Like, is that a standard that you should set?
So when it comes to marriage, you should definitely be able to discern whether someone has godly character to be able to marry. And I mean, that's not something that you have to discern on your own. You can ask like people who are wiser than you, hey, this is this person's character, this is what they're doing. Bring them around those people, like, and go out to dinner with people who are like your mentors or that, or even around your parents or something like that. And then you'll be able to discern, like, does this person have a character that is going to like be able to grow with me? Because you're not necessarily going to marry somebody whose character is like instantly, you know, perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, I'm definitely a different man even from last year than I am today.
Yeah.
You know, so but what Gloria might have looked for in me is, do I have foundational principles that will grow with time, you know?
Yeah. I think it's like a spiritual maturity thing.
Yeah.
Where is this person spiritually mature enough to be in a healthy relationship? I think that's a good way of saying like godly enough, is looking for that level. Qualifications, I mean, yeah, not quite there yet.
Oh.
Qualifications, I'm thinking, you know, believe in the gospel, is part of a community, is respectful. And the second part of the question, I will quickly answer. Is there ever a time, that kick is getting me, biblically, where you think a woman should pursue a man?
Yeah.
And in my personal opinion, I don't think it's bad for a woman to make a move on a guy and to be like, hey, just so you know, I'm interested in you. Or, you know, would you want to grab a coffee sometime and talk? But as far as like pursuing, you know, I think you pursued me really intentionally, and it showed that you were in a good position to like lead in a way. That's just, I don't know. That's what I think. And I think that that is something you should look for in a godly marriage. And that's kind of why I wanted to tie it in, because I think that's a good characteristic to look for is he pursuing me, and it's not just me like chasing after him and not knowing where his heart's at. But I don't think it's bad for a woman to like make the first move. Yeah. But then if he's not interested, you know, it's kind of the same thing. Like, you don't need to keep on trying if he's not showing interest.
Yeah. My lips have a little bit of like a burn to them right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it's just going to get hotter.
I know. That's what I'm concerned about.
I know. I'm a little nervous, but I think it'll be good. All right, so...
We're switching wings now.
Yes. And also, our beverages.
Wait, oh, we didn't say that?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So what I'm drinking is a Red Bull.
And I have chocolate milk.
That's your drink of choice for the heat.
Oh, yeah. So, our next level, mango habanero.
Show it to the camera.
Okay. They look good.
Those look pretty good.
They look juicy.
Habanero, though.
And they're going to be hot. But not as hot as we will get to.
Can you retroactively pray for someone?
I've always wondered that question. I don't know. Ask God. Okay, so you go ahead and grab one. I'm going to ask the next question, and this is the last one of this category. So stay tuned. Also, stay tuned to the end, because I think the last question is, like, my favorite. So, this question, I think, will be pretty good. I think it'll be a good one to answer. What is the difference between a Christian relationship and a non-Christian relationship? In, more terms than just you're Christian.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Is it really hot?
I'm just going to say,
Oh, no.
I'm not going to make it to the end.
You have to.
Can you ask the question again? What's the question?
Yes. Okay.
Dang, I could never be on hot ones.
All right. So what is the difference between a Christian relationship and a non-Christian relationship?
Well, first and foremost, the easiest answer is that Christ is not at the center of a non-Christian relationship, but I would almost rephrase that and say that there's not an opportunity for Christ to be at the center of a non-Christian relationship. Because you can have a quote-unquote Christian relationship, and maybe how you would define a Christian relationship is the fact that this is so hot. It's the fact that you have two professing believers together. But really what would make that a Christian relationship, in the sense of a relationship that's in pursuit of Christ, is those two people collectively having a vision of how they're going to pursue Christ together. Mm-hmm. Are they going to be serving together? Are they going to be reading the Word together? Are they going to be praying together? Are those even elements that they're considering within their relationship? Because if they are, then they have a Christian relationship. But if those are not in that relationship, then I would say that there is no difference between two professing believers being in a relationship together and two non-believers being in a relationship together. There has to be an active pursuit of growth and of discipleship under Jesus in order for that to be considered a Christian relationship.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Don't give me your pity.
Okay. You got this. I'll give you strength.
Those other ones are going to be killer. There's so many of
Well,
them.
these two are both on the hot level. So the hottest is last.
All right. It's just sticky. Like that one, it's like a jelly almost. All right. Am I asking you a question now?
Yes, this is category 2. So category 2 is Garden of Eden.
Welcome to level 2.
We're
If you made it
eating
this
wings
far.
in the
If you
Garden
made
of
it this
Eden.
far, welcome to eating wings. All right, here we go.
Let's talk Bible. That's what this is about.
All right, here we go. Ready?
I gotta take a bite.
Yeah. Take a bite. Dang.
Your reaction got me really
Man, I'm
nervous.
suffering right now. If you're
Pray
listening,
for me.
if you're listening, there's sweat.
I want to wipe this off.
No, you can't. You have to eat it. There's sweat slowly dripping down my forehead right now. All right, here we go. How can we encourage the church to lead more spiritually active lives? And how can we be more intentional about using our spiritual gifts to bring more of God's light into the world? I'm just going to ask you the first one.
This is hot.
How can we encourage the church to lead more spiritually active lives? Period. Just how can we do that, Gloria? Please enlighten us with all of your light.
I will try. Wow. I think it's good, but my mouth is on
This question is
fire.
good. Oh, yeah.
I'm also in pain.
Yeah. But come on, answer the question.
Well, okay. My nose is dripping.
Don't touch your face. Do you want me to read it to you again?
Well, read the second part.
No. I'm reading the first part.
Okay, yes.
How can we encourage the church to lead more spiritually active lives?
So, I think a good thing to do is to look at the people around you and see where you want to get plugged in, especially if you're in community. A spiritually active life, I think, means you're plugged in, you're serving in some capacity.
Keep going.
Do you want me to eat more?
Look at this tiny bite. The tiniest bite in the world.
I'm answering a question here. I think you should go out of your comfort zone and remember that what you're doing is of eternal importance. And even if it, at the time feels like you might be not getting approval from peers or you're nervous to step out and be more like spiritually active with maybe non-believers or something like that, just remember, it's actually kind of from a sermon we were listening to yesterday. Just remember that like it has eternal weight, and that's way more important than like some momentary uncomfortableness that you might feel. And I mean, it's being spiritually active, like, I don't know, what's holding you back? Think about what's holding you back from doing it. Is it like fear of rejection? Is it not feeling like you have enough time? Like, think about that first. I am salivating. Oh my gosh. And then, you know, move forward from there and see what changes you can make.
Yeah.
And think about your gifts and how you can use them, and where you're seeing people do things that you kind of want to try out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like correcting the, what's it called? The value system of an individual. If you value like the eternal perspective more than the, immediate gratification, then you will start to invest more in the kingdom versus just being like, oh, well, right now I just want to do what pleases me. Oh, man. All right. All kinds of things are happening to our bodies.
I know.
All kinds of things. All right. And then the second part was just like, how can we be more intentional about using our spiritual gifts to bring more of God's light into the world? So in particular, like gifts.
Okay. I kind of thought I was just answering the first part. But, I mean, I think I would say the same thing I kind of just did.
Yeah.
Is, like, if you know what they are, then, I don't know, just figure out, ask your church if they need help. Like, bless you. If you're a techie person, ask your church if they need tech help. If you enjoy singing, ask your church if they need more worship team members.
Yeah.
Like, your church probably needs volunteers.
Help your children's ministry, your youth group, like whatever skills that you have. Like, are you a creative like us? Like, are you able to make content? Like, do that for your church. Your church needs that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just ask, because they're not always, like, they might need more than you realize from just like a congregation perspective.
Yeah.
And you'll know if you ask them, and then you'll be like, oh, yeah, actually there's this you can do, this you can do. Like, even if you think everything's filled, it's not.
Yeah.
And like, you are needed in the kingdom.
And you can bring something to the table that they might not be thinking about too, which is really huge. Mm-hmm. Cool.
And ask your friends what they're doing.
Yeah. All right. Are we staying on this one?
I think we are. I mean, I think we can take one more bite for the next question.
I still have some more on this.
And then we'll move on. So, next question. Where in the Bible is the best place to start to get back into reading God's Word consistently?
I always like to recommend James. Really, any wisdom literature I think is really good because it reminds you of like the current relevance of Scripture, which, if you've been out of like the routine for a little while, can be kind of like, your priorities might be like in a mix, and you might be forgetting like the value that God's Word brings to your life, even outside of the practicality of it. It could just be like, first starting in that place, like, hey, like, what does God's Word say? Oh, dang, like this was written how many thousands of years ago, and it's still relevant to me today. And then stepping back into like the heart of God, which maybe it really depends where you're coming from. Because if you're like in a season of heartbreak, like go to the Psalms, go to like the poetic scripture and just read that and see God's like heart for you and his love for you and his compassion for you. And then you'll be like, oh yeah, okay, I can step back into this. This is meeting me where I'm at. Like being able to understand like, God, like I really need you in my life right now, and I want to know what your voice has to say in the season of life that I'm in right now. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like knowing how to ask the right question and where to go to the right place to hear that, Like if I'm going through a really hard season, I'm like literally wiping sweat off my forehead right now. If I'm going through a hard season and I tell Gloria, like, hey, Gloria, like, what's your favorite video game? And she tells me, like, oh, my favorite video game is Mario Bros, And then I'm like, okay, thanks. That doesn't help my season, And that doesn't really give me, like, a reason to go back and talk to her. But if I go to her and I ask her the right question, Gloria, like, what do you have to say about this heartbreaking, what do you have to say about heartbreak? Like, what is it that you would advise someone that's going through a really hard season? What would you say to them? If that's the question that I'm looking for, or that I'm beginning to ask God, he has a place where he's given us that answer. And so then I would encourage you to first, before thinking, hey, what part of the Bible should I go to just start reading? First ask yourself, what question should I be asking God right now? And once you find out that question, go and then look for his answer on that question. And I don't mean like misappropriate scripture to answer your question. I mean, go and actually find where Jesus really answers that question, because he will answer your question. So that's my answer to that question.
Yeah.
Dang. Are you ready for the next level?
I think so. We're also on to our last category, which is kicking it. Fun questions.
Kicking it. I get it.
Yeah.
All right, here we
I
go.
love the puns. Okay, so.
Oh, wait.
I gotta grab that.
Yeah. You gotta
so it's Thai curry.
Thai curry. Let me show it.
It's. Yeah.
Thai curry.
Yep.
Curry.
Looks pretty good.
Looks pretty good.
It's very saucy.
Grab it, yeah. There you go. She's grabbing it. She's bringing it back to her plate.
Okay.
She's examining it.
I will take a bigger bite this time.
She's regretting her decisions. She's sniffing it.
I can smell it from far away.
It looks like weird. It looks weird. If I could like zoom in on
Anyways,
it, I would.
I'm going to take a bite.
All right, go for it. I'm going to ask you your question. If you could describe Chris as one Bible character, who would it be?
Honestly, this is not spicy.
It's not spicy?
No.
What?
It was more hot than that one. That's what I said.
Wow. Don't chew too close to the microphone. Everyone's going to hear all your mouth sounds.
I'm really bad at that. I realized this throughout this
She's like,
this podcast. I'm really bad.
All right. What's your answer? How would you describe me as a
I
Bible
know.
character?
I don't know. For some reason, John the Baptist came to mind.
John the Baptist?
Yeah.
Because you've seen me baptize people
Probably.
in the ocean?
Probably. That's like a very just... What's the word? I've literally just seen you baptize people. But also, you like proclaim the gospel. Not just as like you're a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you do it in all different outlets, and you talk to random people about God all the time, which is super cool, and not everybody does that or has like the ability to have like a confident conversation about faith. And we know, John the Baptist was like, prepare the way for the Lord, and he did, and I think you're doing that. And he was probably handsome.
Yeah, but he also wore like
Yeah, I know. He literally was like
nothing.
camel skin or something. And ate locusts. So
Well,
maybe
hopefully
not physically.
Hopefully I keep my head to the end of my life.
Your head?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Too soon?
Oh no, too soon.
Is that too soon?
Too
Okay.
soon.
Maybe another 1,000 years.
I think you're gonna like this one.
Okay.
I think
All
you're
right,
gonna like
let me
this
take
one.
my bite and you ask me my question.
This is a good like little bit of a break. Okay, well, your question was, and it says, warning can be controversial. What is the best flavor of Girl Scout cookie?
I like it's like the Samoan one or whatever. The Samoan one where it has like the chocolate drizzle on top.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, it's called Samoa.
Yeah, Samoan.
Mm-hmm.
Samoan.
Those are so good.
I don't think that's controversial. I just think those are the best, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like no other opinion matters on that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, tell us you guys' opinion.
Yeah, what do you think the
Honestly,
best Girl Scout cookie is?
I would agree wholeheartedly.
It's so good.
Those are absolutely the best. Like Thin Mints, they're good, but none can compare to Samoa.
I feel like Samoa, like everybody can like a Samoan.
Well, unless you're allergic to coconut or something.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because it does have coconut.
It was still really good.
It's so good.
All right, next question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we should go to the hottest because we are
This is the last question?
We have 2 more questions.
Okay, then I'm not going to eat the hottest one until it's the last question.
Are you sure?
We'll go back to this one, but yeah,
Okay.
I'm not eating the hottest wing. Yeah, this wasn't even hot at all.
No.
Yeah.
It was actually good. The Thai curry wings are good.
We got lied
And
to.
it was honestly a nice break because Chris, for some reason, is going to the super hot ones.
No, but we have to eat increasingly hotter wings.
You're
we
right.
got juked out. We
You're
got to be
right.
honest.
I'll take a little bite of this while I ask you the question, too, just so we're equal. Will there ever be more episodes of the BBH show?
For those of you who don't know, previous to this podcast, I had my own podcast by myself. And it was called The Believers Be Heard Show. You can still look it up. Oh my gosh. You can still look it up.
Literally same.
And basically the premise of it was that I'd have people on and they would share their testimony with me. I'd give them however much time they wanted. I'd sit down. We'd ask from the very beginning of their life to the present day what their journey with Jesus has been. And they would tell me. And like I said, it's on Spotify. You can look it up. But then Spotify did this thing. Got weird. Basically vanished from my access to it. Like, I don't have access to it. So then that's when Gloria and I started the Carpio Corner. But with all that context now, my answer is that Gloria and I have actually been talking about a way to be able to bring back the Believers Be Heard show, but as a segment or as an episode type in the Carpio Corner, where I would interview the boys and then Glo would interview the girls. And so we'd have like boys night, they'd have girls night, and we would still be able to like hear people's testimony. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, make sure you let us know, because we're really interested in being able to do something like that in the future. Yeah, all right. I'm going to cry.
So we actually have 2 more questions. So you gotta ask me one more. Number 11.
Number 11, here we go.
I already took another bite, but I'll take another one just for... Because I think it's pretty good, honestly.
Okay, here we go. Chloe, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
If you got a QR code to tattoo, what would it link to?
So,
If you got a QR code tattoo, what would it link to?
I think it would link to a song. But the thing is, I kind of have 2 different answers, because
Would you like Rickroll people or something like that?
No, I would Don't Stop Me Now People by Queen. I love that song. It is such a hype song. Like, if someone were to QR code that and be like, just start dancing because it's such a hype song, that'd be so fun. But also, I think if you're going to put something on your body, you want to glorify the Lord. So we could also put some goodness of God on there. Goodness of God, people.
Just make it a link tree, and then you have like 2 worship
Yes.
songs.
Okay, there we go. I link tree. And you get the Bible, goodness of God, and Don't Stop Me Now. That's my answer.
That's a great answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
If I were to have a QR code linked to my body, I would link it to Stumble Upon. You ever hear of that before? Mm-hmm. When you finish watching this video, don't leave yet. But when you finish, unless you're listening, look up Stumble Upon, because it was this old website where every time you loaded it, it would do something totally random. So I would never know what it is that someone was going to stumble upon when they scanned my QR code.
That's dangerous.
But it was always like weird stuff,
It
like
wasn't,
quirky.
bad?
No, it wasn't like inappropriate. It was just like quirky stuff. Like, it was a lot of fun back in the day. I don't know if it's still that way, but that's what it was.
Watching me wipe my nose right now. It's fine.
Okay, that was a great question.
It was.
Are you ready for the last one?
I mean, I guess so. My lips are still burning.
I know. I'm gonna throw up after this.
Oh no.
Not really. I just feel like I'm going to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're just gonna take it easy the rest of the night. I mean, I guess so. We're both answering this, by the way. Okay. I think it's a cute question. I think it's great.
All right. But before we do, make sure that you either like, subscribe, follow, wherever it is that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, leave a rating, because we really want this channel to grow. And if you've appreciated our podcast thus far, please share it with somebody that you know, because we want this community to continue to grow, and we just really appreciate you guys and the way that we've been growing in our relationship with you.
And thank you for sending questions.
Yeah.
It was really fun getting them, and I really appreciate that, we didn't have to make them up.
Yeah. All right. And now everybody's just like, did they make them up?
We did not.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Should we each grab one?
Yeah. We'll do that.
Okay, these are called warning blazing sauce. There's literally
a warning.
It says warning blazing sauce.
God help us. All right. Here's the question.
Okay, do I take a bite now?
No, we'll take a bite together.
Okay.
So for the listener, you're just going to have to give us a second. But the question is, what is a weird/quirky thing that you like about Chris/Glow that most people wouldn't know or even think about or even think, I'm sorry, my brain's on fire, is a normal attraction to someone? It's just kind of a weirdly structured question, I think, a little bit.
I like my answer.
Okay, so basically something that is weird or
say.
quirky about me that you find attractive that most people wouldn't find attractive.
Okay.
Take a bite.
I wouldn't say I necessarily find it
Take
attractive.
a bite. Ready?
but-
Are you ready to take this bite?
Cheers.
Cheers. The last dab. Here we go.
Okay. I took a hefty bite.
I will go have you bite home.
Okay, it's slowly increasing in my mouth. All right. Okay. I haven't gotten that far yet. Honestly, I've grown a big tolerance to spice.
Holy smokes, it's like at the back of my throat.
I haven't swallowed yet.
It's at the back.
Oh no. Okay.
All right, what would you say? Answer. I'm sorry, to listener. I just crinkled that napkin in your ear.
I think I'm doing all right.
Okay, then answer the question.
Okay, so I would say, wow, okay.
Says she's not doing bad. Immediately starts dying.
My lips are burning. I would say that you sing a lot. Like, you make up songs for everything. I'm gonna start crying.
It's an emotional answer.
You make up songs for everything that happened. Like, we're just in the car starts beeping or something, or not even, he just thinks of something, boom, song. A song starts playing, or he thinks of a song that he thinks he knows the lyrics to. He doesn't know the lyrics to it, but he'll sing it with full confidence. I love it. I wouldn't say necessarily I'm like attracted to his songs, but like,
wow,
it makes me love him more, if that counts. Like, I just love when he starts singing random songs or like singing around lyrics. Like, I think it's cute, and I love his songs. Some of them we should honestly record, and we've talked about that. So I'm gonna stop talking because I need to drink milk.
I think I'm gonna pass out. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, so
We're gonna end this now.
okay, so the thing that I think is really attractive about Gloria, that I actually love, is that if I'm sitting in the car with her, I can say absolutely nothing for like over an hour, and she will just keep talking. And she'll tell me about her day. She'll tell me about everything. I don't think you've ever realized this before.
No, I don't.
But you'll tell me about like everything, and I don't have to ask her any questions. She'll just bring the conversation. She'll just carry the conversation the whole time. And it's like, she doesn't do it with like anybody else. Like, I've seen her like in conversations with other people, and she like is a lot more timid. But like with me, she just feels like she has like the whole room, and I love it because I can just tell how comfortable she is. And I think that's what I find like the most attractive about you in your like kind of quirky like hidden self, is that like when you're really like comfortable, you can just like fill a room with your personality, and not a lot of people get to see that. So I feel super honored to be able to experience that. I'm sorry I can't make eye contact with you right now. I'm gonna cry.
I'm literally like gross.
I was talking to the camera. That's
I'm
okay
literally
though.
gross right now.
All right. So, one last time, everybody. Thank you so much for making this last season so great. We really appreciated it. And if you made it this far to the end, we are officially in the deep end, and you're putting on your floaties for the very last time in season 2. And we just want to say thank you so much. And we are signing off because we cannot make it any longer.
Nope. Thank you guys for watching this. And I hope you enjoyed our questions and answers.
Peace.
Love you.